Oh man. Uh the reason why I'm laughing is because I just watched Drew McIntyre's video on the press conference last night, and oh my god. Oh, I love Drew. This is the best version of Drew McIntyre that they've ever done. And Drew's whole entire career. I want Drew to be champion now. I actually want Drew McIntyre to be champion. Just because of the truth that he brings to the table and how much he would protect the title and how much he would actually make sense of everything. And he has been spot on, especially with his comments of, didn't you lose to him 3 times? I mean, Drew is just amazing. He really is. This has been some of the best stuff I've ever seen him do. And I watched that a couple times, the video he uploaded on TikTok, and he's right. Drew McIntyre is 100% correct. Seth looks like a fucking idiot in all of this. At first, it was Cody, because, like, oh, well, I won the Royal Rumble, and here, Rock, you can have my spot because I'm not ready yet. But they got it right, and Cody came out and had some balls and said, this is bullshit. And he took his spot back. Good for you, Cody. Good for you. You deserve it. You should be the one challenging Roman. And I'm glad WWE fixed their mistake. And now we're getting Roman versus Cody at WrestleMania. Let's finish the story. There's no need for Roman to pass Hulk Hogan. There's no need for it. But Drew just had so much truth to that. And even Pat McAfee called him the bloody forgotten champion because he's 100% correct. He is 100% correct. Seth is, I'm done with this World Heavyweight title run with Seth Rollins. I'm done with it. I don't want to see Seth as champion anymore. I really don't. You had Roman mocking everything about him. Even saying as far as saying he's wearing his wife's shoes. He's dressed like a clown. Look at him, everybody. And Seth was trying to be all cool, telling Roman, well, look, guys, he showed up to work. No one cared about it. People were laughing at Roman's comment when he said, look, everybody, he's wearing his wife's shoes. Look, he's dressed like a clown. Look at him. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I know some people might be upset, like, oh, how could you say that about Seth Rollins? He's a workhorse champion. That very well may be. He defended his title a lot. But the fact is the presentation. Seth looked like a complete buffoon out there. He really did. It felt like he did not know. He was out of place. It felt like they didn't give two fucks about the World Heavyweight Championship, which they don't, clearly. It's about Roman's title. So, what are we doing? Why don't we just do Seth versus Drew, get the title off of him, because Seth really needs to get surgery. He needs to get healthy. Let him go take care of that. Give the title to Drew McIntyre, and I'm telling you, Drew will make that title look like $1,000,000. Especially with the way his verbiage is lately, especially with how Drew is carrying himself. He is carrying himself like a leader should. So therefore, we should, if not to Gunther, we should give it to Drew McIntyre. That would be a nice change, and he is correct. Raw needs a change. Like Drew said, I would not let anyone talk to me that way. I would not let anyone talk about my title that way, and I would certainly not be made to look like a clown. So therefore, he is the guy. Punk is out. They need a good star to carry the World Heavyweight Championship because after WrestleMania, Rollins definitely has to get surgery. So the only thing you can do is give the title to Drew. Let Drew run with it. Let Drew do what he needs to do. And I think that would be the best decision on WWE's part to fix that mess with the World Heavyweight title. Drew might actually make it mean something. And they desperately need it. I know Seth has done all he can to make the World Heavyweight title be prestigious, but the last couple of months, it really hasn't been. It really hasn't been, and they need somebody to step up and do that. And I think Drew McIntyre's our guy. I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan of Drew. I am actually looking at all he is doing, how he's carrying himself, how he presents himself, and he is a badass. And it would be a nice change to give the title to him while they figure out the Cody and Roman stuff. I really think that would be a good thing for WrestleMania to have Seth versus Drew McIntyre, and Seth could lose, and then he can go off, get surgery for however much he can. I give Seth all the credit in the world because he really does not want to miss WrestleMania. Hey, Greg and John, how are you, buddy? Hope you're having a good Friday. I give Seth all the credit in the world, and he deserves to at least get a WrestleMania payday, and then he can go off and do his business. But they all just made him look like an idiot. All of them. Triple H made him look like an idiot. Adam Pearce made him look like an idiot. You got Pat McAfee making fun of him. I love Pat McAfee as much as the next person, but if you're going to be world heavyweight champion, you don't let everybody make fun of you. You really don't. It makes you look like a clown. And Seth dressed like a clown and looked like a clown. He really did. I mean, I that's why I'm here to give my real thoughts about this, because not a lot of people are talking about how Seth is looking. What's the latest news, brother? Well, the latest news is Cody is getting Roman at WrestleMania. So WWE did correct themselves in that situation. Now we're going to get, is Cody going to finish his story? I hope. I really hope. I do not want to see Roman have that title any longer. 1,257 days or however long he's had it is enough. Like I've been saying for the last couple of months, he does not need to pass Hulk Hogan. We don't need to worry about that. I know they want to erase Hogan's record, but it's not the record. The record is Bruno Sammartino. And do we really want to see Roman have that title for another 3 years? I don't think so. Do you think Rock will interfere and cost Roman the title? I did actually mention that with my super chat to JD, and they kind of are having a feeling about it too. But they said maybe not at WrestleMania, maybe later on down the line. But I do see that eventually coming true, and then they do something with Roman and Rock later on down the year, because, like Drew said, you don't want to do this too quickly to where you put all your cards at WrestleMania, then you got nothing left throughout the year. So Triple H is very good at making things last, and that's something they need to do. Is try to stretch this out as long as possible. Because the thing I worry about is when the bloodline stuff is over, what does WWE have? And what do they have? They really don't have anything of value, because they put so much stock and effort into the bloodline. But that's why people are saying, oh, why don't you have Roman win it all? And I'm just like, I don't think anybody would have the patience for 3 more years. Then they'll still be laughing at him. Oh, he's only working 6 pay-per-views a year, maybe 10 television shows a year, blah, blah, blah. We're tired of it. We want somebody else. You know how the story goes. You know how the story goes, and I think that would be a mistake. They need to start building the rest of the roster. If they put that much effort in the rest of the roster as they did with Roman, oh man, we'd have an awesome show every single week. We wouldn't be complaining about anything, but they do it for Roman. It's very true. They do it for Roman, and everybody else suffers. But they are doing a good job building Drew McIntyre up. I like that they're letting him be himself. I like that they're letting him say whatever he wants to say. That's the Drew that we need, not the Drew that just lets everybody do what they want and he doesn't say anything and blah blah blah. He's crying and this and that. We don't want that version of Drew. This is the Drew that we need. This is the Drew that we need. Because you don't have Punk there to cause controversy. Drew can be that guy, and I'm very excited. I'm actually very excited to see what they do with Drew versus anything else. I mean, yes, I want to see Cody finish the story. I really want to see that. Will it happen at WrestleMania? I hope. But the way The Rock was looking at Triple H saying, fix this shit, I'm a little worried that they might do a swerve or something and something gets fucked up. And I don't want that. I know a lot of fans don't want that, but it's The Rock. He's the boss now. So I don't know what he meant by that. If Triple H, you don't fix this shit, you're going to get fired? I mean, is that the corporate Rock that we're getting now? It's like, if you don't do what I say and put me in that match or put it back to Rock and Roman. You're out of here. That's just what I'm getting out of all this. And I'm just like, oh my lord, it's that's what happens when you get stars in that position. I don't want Vince McMahon there. Thank God he's gone. But why not just give it all to Triple H? But that they're going to do what they want to do. But it's just dumb. It's dumb, and I do like this version of Rock. Don't get me wrong. I do like Rock being a dick, and Rock telling the people, you can either like it or you don't. We're still going to give it to you anyway. That's a lot of Vince McMahon stuff right there from back in the Attitude Era. So if we're getting that with Rocky, okay, I'm all for it. But Rock shouldn't be involved in any wrestling. If he's going to take that role, he should not be wrestling for any title whatsoever. But remember with Vince, he was the ECW champion. So, I mean, it could happen. I mean, I'm not saying Rock doesn't look incredible. He does. Rock looks in great shape. I was worried when he did his first promo. I'm like, man, he's gassed already. So I don't know if Rock can actually do a match. But the way he was looking at that press conference, I think may not be a stellar match with Rock and Roman. But if Rock keeps building himself out in that kind of shape, I think the match will be okay. It won't be as bad as people were thinking it might be. Like, oh man, Rock's going to be burned out after 3 minutes. Like the Brock and Goldberg stuff. I don't think we're going to see any of that. I think they will carry each other to a good match as long as Rock keeps staying in ring ready. And if he has no intention to do a long, drawn-out storyline, then he needs to stay away from the ring. Don't be taking spots from people if you're not going to be in the ring on at least a Roman-type schedule. So we'll see where that goes from there, but that's the way I'm thinking. I think Rock needs to be around the ring more if he's actually going to wrestle and be a part of it, or he's going to get the backlash, which he kind of got a little bit already, of Roman not showing up to work and everybody laughing at Roman and blah, blah, blah. That could happen for Dwayne too. That could happen for Dwayne too, because people want actual full-time wrestling now. We don't want this part-time shit that's been so overplayed, so overdrawn out with Lesnar, with freaking Roman. Like, that's what Cena, that's what they always do. They make someone into a huge star, and then they go back to, they have a part-time schedule, and then how can you get invested in that? You can't. You cannot get invested in someone who's not there. So they need to really be careful how much they invest in Rock. But Rock's going to do what he wants. He's like, I'm the boss. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. And if you don't fall in line, you're out of here. I hope there's not going to be too much favoritism. I know he's going to protect his family. I get it. You want to make sure your family has what you need. I would do the same thing. But you also got to look at everybody, or they could have an atmosphere like they did when Vince was there. Everyone could start getting unhappy. And Tony Khan, my boy Tony Khan, could be sitting there with that bag of money and say, hey, come on over here. You don't want to be around Rock? I'll give you whatever you want. Tony Khan's going to be watching everything. I love the man to death, and that man don't sleep. When he has his eye on somebody, he does not sleep. He's waiting. I hope he does a good job with Mercedes Moné. I really do. Tony, don't screw this up. Don't screw this up with Mercedes, please. I don't want her to feel like somebody we're sick of after 2 weeks or we're bored of. You got a huge star coming in. If you want a Drew McIntyre, you want some of these bigger names to come over, they're not going to do it unless they start seeing you build some people up, man. You got to start building people up and making them look good. Or that's not going to happen. You'll never see a Kevin Owens. You'll never see a Sami Zayn. You'll never see anybody like that, of that caliber. It won't happen. So you need to really take this with your full effort and investment and be like, you know what? I'm going to make Mercedes be the biggest star possible and make the division around her even that much better, to where everyone's going to want to join my company. This is why they haven't, because you have done some amazing things, but it's the follow-up that's always been the problem. Samoa Joe's been perfect. Keep doing that with Samoa Joe. But as far as your previous champions, you're lucky MJF was the man he is. No matter what you give MJF, he's going to make everybody invested. But you don't have very many talents in that company that could pull off an MJF and be all those certain things to where no matter what it is, he's going to turn it into gold. You don't have very many of that. If you want to get more people like that, you need to get Mercedes to be top notch. I'm telling you, everyone in WWE is going to be watching. You know, all the Sasha stands are going to be watching. They're already wanting you to fail. So this is your time to really be like, oh, you want those names in 2024? You want them? This is your time to prove yourself that, you know what, I will take care of them and everyone's going to want to come here. That's what you need to do. And I think if you get there, WWE can start getting in trouble. Because now you got a big ego there with The Rock, and I don't know how much people are gonna like it. He seems to be at a very egotistical role, and you know what I mean by know your role. He seems to be very egotistical, and that could cause a problem in the locker room. I'm just telling you. So now is your chance to really make a difference, and I know you can do it, Tony. I'm not saying you can't. I know you can do it. I believe in you can do it. And if you do happen to see this, just take care of her. That's all we're asking. That's all the Sasha fans are asking. Take care of her. And if you do that, nothing but good things are going to come because Sasha has a fucking huge following. She has so many fans, and if you want them to tune into your show, you got to take care of her. Don't put her in meaningless matches, you know, where you have, oh, we got Mercedes Moné versus Willow Nightingale. Nobody wants to see shit like that. Nobody wants to see shit like that. People are saying, oh, how could you say that about Willow? I'm not saying I'm not a fan of Willow. I'm just saying I was trying to think of a star that people casuals would not be interested in. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to see that and be like, oh, Sasha's just going to be one of these people that Tony just puts in meaningless matches. You can't do that anymore. 5 years, Tony. 5 years. You can't be doing that shit anymore. Just like when you would put John Moxley against people that I didn't give two fucks about. Now you got to really step up. You want these big names? Step up. You can do it. A lot of people know you can do it. We give you a hard time, Tony, because you allow it. I love you, and I always got your back, but I'm just saying, the people who come at you, they do it because you allow it. You show them, hey, I got a big name up. They're wrestling jobber number 30 next week. You can't do that anymore. You can't. It's 5 years now. Get it right. You get it right with Mercedes, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. Don't worry. So I want to give you guys quick thoughts on Mercedes. But as far as the rest of the press conference goes, before we get out of here, the rest of the press conference was boring as hell. I'm sorry. I watched the whole thing up till Seth Rollins came out. I was not interested. I'm not. And there's people that are like, oh, it was so great all the way through. But you could think that. That's fine. But I just did not think. I did not care. I didn't care about what Bianca had to say. I didn't care about Rhea. I didn't care about any of that. Because everybody was waiting for, is Cody going to get Rock? Is Cody going to get Roman? That was the whole purpose of that. If they didn't have that at the end of the show, honestly, it would have been a fail. It would have been a fail. I just would have been so bored. So thank God for the last 15 minutes. So yes, those are my thoughts of why I think Seth looked like an idiot. I'm glad Cody got his match. Will they stick to it? Just remember, card subject to change. It could happen. The card could change. Rock could insert himself in another way. He already gave threats to Triple H. So I'm not putting my stock in Cody versus Roman until WrestleMania gets here because WWE likes to change things. And they've already done it twice in 1 week. So what makes you think they won't add Rock or something as a ref? Or they won't make it a triple threat? Who knows? I'm happy, but I'm not going to get too hopeful. I'm going to wait and see at WrestleMania if this match actually does happen. People are like, oh, they said it's official. Oh, they have the graphic. That doesn't mean WWE will not change it. You've seen it happen before. You've seen it happen in the past. And it's very possible that it can change. So I hope you guys really enjoyed my real-time thoughts on the press conference. I did watch it. I enjoyed the end of it. Everybody played their part. So let's see what happens in SmackDown with the follow-up. Triple H will be there live tonight. They did say Triple H will be there. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's going to make more sense. Or they're going to continue some type of storyline with Triple H and The Rock. And let me just say one more thing. Triple H guys can't wrestle. Triple H, he has a pacemaker. People are saying, oh, Triple H versus The Rock. They can't do that. Why would you want Triple H to put his health in jeopardy? He's not going to do that. He's got a family. There's no way Triple H is going to go anywhere near that ring. So please don't tempt the man to do it because he wants your reaction. I don't think he will, but we've seen stranger things, okay? So we're not going to get Triple H for The Rock. That's not going to happen. Get that out of your head. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please hit the thumbs up. It really does help out the video, get pushed to more viewers. So if you enjoyed everything you've seen here and you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And also hit the thumbs up. We're getting near getting into the partner program, so any type of support would be greatly appreciated. I love y'all. Hope you have a good Friday, and I'll see you for SmackDown.